Islam, Shalom, I.S.L.A.M, Osio, Hola, Aloha, Bonjour. This is your brother, Tarik Bey, Indigenous American Moor, coming to you in live and full effect. Thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell if you would like to be notified whenever I'm dropping new content. Leave a comment down below and interact with my content. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate your viewership. Let's jump back into it. I want to speak about, continue more along the lines of why us in America, the Moors of America, the American Indians, the so-called Negro, Blacks, Colors deserve reparations for American chattel slavery and systematic racism. All right, so I want to break a few things down and go into a few ideas I've thought about, and I want to work my way from the past to the present. All right, so imagine if someone offered you a job, all right, and that job was to create inventions or improvements and or breakthroughs in fields of study. All right, so that's the job description. Your job description is to create brand new ideas and you get paid for it, or improve upon existing ideas and you get paid for it, or make breakthroughs in fields of study and you get paid for it. All right, would you take that job? Would you take the opportunity to be paid on a regular basis for someone to profit off of your God-given ingenuity, imagination, innovation, creativity? All right. Would you sell that? Would you sell your imagination? Would you sell your creativity? This happens today. All right. This isn't a new concept. This isn't a foreign concept. This happens today. In today's day and age, the best example I can give you of that idea is something called a Imagineer. All right. The corporation Disney has this job title called Disney Imagineers, and the Imagineers' job is to create fanciful, exciting new ideas for Disney to incorporate in their theme parks, amusement parks, movies, things of that nature, resorts, on all that. That is the main focus of what a Disney Imagineer does, to make fanciful, futuristic, exciting, brand new ideas for Disney to profit off of, and to I guess create enjoyment and amusement, for children and for their audiences, pretty much. All right, so this job title is not something that I just created, or this question isn't something that it's not a hypothetical. This is like a real reality. It happens today. People are literally profiting off of other people's imaginations. They're literally profiting off of their creativity, all right, to make breakthroughs or improvements in fields. And just how those improvements can be made for profit, sometimes improvements are held back because the threat to profit. All right. I want to speak on how inventions are often stolen. Ideas are often patented and stripped away from the original creator or owner because finance is involved. Some people are threatened, different things happen in this scenario. But would you take that offer? Would you let somebody profit off of your ideas, your imagination, for a guaranteed steady paycheck? This scenario was often the case throughout history. I want to speak about the alleged inventor of the cotton gin, Eli Whitney, which the story goes, he patented this idea after just coming up with it. But in reality, the tale is that a enslaved or a enslaved indigenous person here in America actually created that technology, and Eli Whitney stole it and patented it because he was a so-called white man. He was a European, so therefore he had rights, and he had the most say-so in something like this happening because of the way the laws and times were. So the story goes he allegedly stole this idea, and he patented it and made money off of it. Also, the inventor of the whiskey, Jack Daniels. All right, Jack Daniels was given all the credit and even has his name on it, but really the real inventor is actually a brother named Nathan Nearest Green. Was the real inventor of the famous whiskey, Jack Daniels. All right, so it wasn't the Jack Daniels, the person whose name is on it, and what we call in this day and age. That whiskey was actually created by a Moor, an indigenous man, a brother, so-called Negro, or so-called African American, a person of color here, named Nathan Nearest Green. All right. Also, Nikola Tesla. All right. I think about Nikola Tesla and how Edison paid Nikola Tesla, behind the scenes to create inventions, and Edison would take those inventions and patented the ones that he felt he could make profit off of, and then he would often bury or stifle or conceal the ideas that he felt would potentially threaten his profits, or he felt that wouldn't be profitable for him in the business market for the most part. So Nikola Tesla was actually working behind the scenes, creating different inventions and ideas, and he was just paid by Thomas Edison, who took all the credit up front, who's actually down as a great inventor, but really, he was just buying the ideas from Nikola Tesla. All right, which the company Tesla, ran by Elon Musk, actually gets their name from Nikola Tesla. All right, we can't forget about Dr. Vivian Thomas. All right, Dr. Vivian Thomas, back in 1944, did the first open heart surgery. All right, he did the first one, and he didn't get the credit for that. All right, it was a movie called Something the Lord Made. The good brother I.S.L.A.M and Mos Def was in it, and he played that part brilliantly. And he played this good brother, Dr. Vivian Thomas, and they showed the story of how he did this great procedure and did this breakthrough, and because of what he looked like, because of who he was, he did not get the respect and the regard in that field, just because of the times. All right, and someone else taking credit and foreshadowing him. All right, so imagine not getting paid, or not getting paid or fairly compensated for such labors. This happened all the time, especially to Moors in America, especially to so-called African Americans, so-called Negroes, so-called people of color, the indigenous people here in America. This happened all the time. The Patent and Trade Office process was often used to strip us of our inventions. Most of the innovations, most of the new technology, the breakthroughs that were made here in America was made by the Moors of America, the American Indians, the indigenous people here. And those ideas were stolen through the Patent and Trade Office. Sometimes people were threatened. Sometimes people were bought out, forced to sign non-compete agreements, forced to sign non-disclosure agreements, different things of that nature. And our people were taken advantage of. They might have been threatened. They might have been strong-armed financially. Inventions and ideas were stolen often. There's so many inventions, so many inventors that are not getting the credit here, and there are people. All right, there's people, there are families getting rich off of the ideas and the labors and the ingenuity and the creativity, the God-given talent of the Moors here, the indigenous people here in America, the labors of our ancestors, what they did, their blood, sweat, tears, innovation, dreams, hopes, those ideas, those labors, everything they fought for was stolen, and someone else is profiting off of that in this day and age because of certain patents and things of that nature, certain copyrights, certain trademarks in those times. All right, mind you, I'm still talking about the past here, and I'm working my way to the future, because this stuff might sound like it's something of the past. It might sound like something that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen anymore. This is America. Everybody has free trade, and everybody has free liberties and the right to property and all that good stuff, right? Right? It sounds really good, doesn't it? Let's continue. This is still happening today, because imagine back in 1989, the inventor Lonnie Johnson created the Super Soaker water gun, and they were trying to steal this invention from him. That was a part of my childhood growing up in the 90s. If you didn't have a Super Soaker water gun in the summertime, I don't know what you was doing. Maybe you had the hose. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you had the garden hose. Or maybe you had one of those little squirt guns that you just pull the water back and then shoot like once, you know, with the force. You know, maybe you had something like that. But nah, if you didn't have a Super Soaker water gun, I don't know what you was doing back in the 90s. The Super Soaker water guns were it. You had to have it. They were taken out of production late 90s, I believe, to early 2000s. They were taken out of production because a lawsuit was a huge lawsuit was on the way, struggling, because they was trying to steal this brother's invention and not give him the proper credit for it. Mind you, this is 1989, all right? Lonnie Johnson, they was trying to steal this brother's invention. He won the lawsuit, and since then they still have not created or brought out any more awesome water guns like we had back in the 90s. They're creating like light stream water pistols and little weak stuff. It's not worth it. It's not how our childhoods were, you know. A quality water gun. The Super Soaker. All right. So that's 1989. Mind you, I'm working my way toward the present. We can't forget about the good sister Sophia Stewart, the writer, the creator of the Terminator movie, the Terminator movies, the whole franchises, and the Matrix whole franchises. She created those stories, and they tried to blackball her. They tried to make her disappear, like not like kill her or anything, but they didn't want her name to be out there as the creator and author of these awesome films, documentaries, movies, these awesome sci-fi adventures and masterpieces, honestly, because these are some of the greatest sci-fi action movies to this day. You know, the Terminator franchise and the Matrix franchise still hold up to this day. You know, I mean, plenty of them. But they didn't want to give this good sister credit, Sophia Stewart. All right. We can't forget about, now this is like right here, a year or two ago. This is modern times right here. Kanye West. Yeah, didn't think. This stuff is still happening. Ideas, intellectual property is still being stolen. You know what I'm talking about, Ye West, and Adidas. Adidas is really trying to straight up steal this brother's invention, this brother's intellectual property, this brother's idea, this brother's creation. The Yeezys that whole brand deal, how Adidas and Ye West are going at it, and how they've come to some negotiations and things of that nature. These people are still trying to go behind this brother's back and sell his product, his intellectual property, and not compensate him at all. And that's supposed to be fair? That's supposed to be right? That's supposed to be free trade for all? Come on. So you see how connected what happened in the past all the way through time to this modern day age, and people aren't connecting the dots here. People aren't making it fit. And I just told you about a few scenarios and situations, but Ye West and Adidas, the same exact thing is happening. It has been happening for a very long time. Luckily, the good brother Ye got, the funds and the finance to actually fight and for it to be in the forefront. Excuse me. So ideas were stolen through the Patent and Trade Office, the processes, copywriting and things of that nature. Also, ideas were purchased. Intellectual property might have been purchased, might have been contracted or signed away. Creators or innovators might have been forced to sign non-disclosure agreements or non-compete agreements or clauses inside of those contracts, which means you can't compete. You can't later come out with a product similar and compete with something that's already out, something that you helped work on. You can't come out and create a product that's similar and to compete with that product. That's what a non-compete agreement is when it comes to contract. The gist, for the layman. And also in extreme cases, they eliminated people. People disappeared. You have an innovative idea that might potentially threaten someone's entire corporation, entire company, entire livelihood, entire family's generational wealth, because you want to make an innovation in a field, you want to make a breakthrough in a field that might potentially threaten old wealth, old money. Believe you me, you're going to have hitters after you. You're going to have hitmen. You're going to have a target on you if you decide to take on something like this. But just imagine how our world could be if inventions were able to flourish, if innovations were able to just be accessible to any and everybody, to actually make this world a better and brighter place, a cleaner place for us to live in, and for our children and for our children's children, for later generations. If greed and gluttony and all of these evils and sins were not so much at the forefront to stifle progress and to stifle natural creativity and to destroy innovation, true innovation, or in true uplifting of all of mankind, it's just, unfortunately, this is the state of the world. This is the case of things at this moment. There's powers, there's forces that are working to stifle, to stop, to control innovation, to control creativity that could potentially enlighten and shine positively upon the entire world, not even just our nation. Of course, I want innovations and progress to increase the wealth of our nation here individually, but I'm thinking also more on a global, planetary scale, right? For us all, for the future, for nature, for the animals, for our children, for our children's children, for our generations to come, for everyone, all of us, right? So it's so many innovations, so many ideas that have been stifled because of greed. Imagine if this wasn't the case. Imagine if the indigenous people, the Moors, the American Indians here in America were able to flourish. You know, imagine if Negro Wall Street, if all of those were successful towns and they stayed as they were and they continued to build and progress. Imagine if they weren't burned down and destroyed. Imagine how prosperous, how beautiful, how innovative those cities would be. We would probably have no bills for utilities and things of that nature. We might have more green energy. Our lifespans might even be longer. Who knows what the possibilities could potentially be? That is a what if timeline that, you know, I can only imagine how beautiful it could potentially be. So I really wanted to connect the dots from the past all the way through to what's going on now in the future, and to bring it back full circles, what our ancestors did and what they fought and died for. The descendants, us, we deserve just compensation for everything they have done and have not been justly compensated for, in the problems and issues that we are still facing in this day and age. You know, so I really just wanted to bring this idea and just, you know, put it out there in the ether. I would love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below, interact. Once again, this is your brother, Tarik Bey, Indigenous American Moor. Wado. Peace.